The number one tip I've ever gotten when it comes to playing perimeter defense in NBA 2K is to get inside the mind of the offensive player and think, if it was me, where would I go next? Or what move would combo well with this move that I'm currently trying to do? And trying to stop them doing said move. Easier said than done, I know. But that piece of knowledge helped me immensely in changing the way in which I approach perimeter defense. And hopefully by the end of this video, the tips I go over will help you to become a better perimeter defender as well. Moving on to the next tip on how to improve your perimeter defense is to not accept the opponent's invitation to the dance. What dance? We all know. That good old left, right, back and forth dance that every point guard seems to want to do. When first coming across this, most people, myself included, will try and follow them. So when the point guard does a Kevin Durant escape to the left, we as the defender instinctively shift over a bit towards that side. And then the point guard escape dribbles to the right. So what do? We follow suit. And they will continue to do this a few times till they kill us one way or the other. Most times they're trying to just set us up to overcommit to one side and then blow by the other way. And that, my friend, is the dance that I was speaking of earlier. That's what you want to stay away from because it's almost guaranteed easy blow-bys, especially with badges like Clamp Breaker. The way we are going to want to play those point guards is to set up in your spot defensively and let them do all the dancing that they want, but you don't budge. Take your thumb off the sticks if you have to. But unless they're actually covering ground in a direction, there's no need for all the micro adjustments on your part. Just be ready to react when they try and blow by one way or the other, or if they decide to pull up for the shot, and just play it. The second tip to improve on your perimeter defense is to learn and implement the on-ball defensive stance, or ODS. Sure of the ODS, and check out some of SamFam's old videos, as he does an amazing job of breaking it down. But pretty much, when you're defending your matchup, you're gonna want to use the two triggers to feather and box up and not let your mans beat you to the hole. By using the ODS, you're putting yourself in a prime position to play those drippy left-right cheeses, and it's gonna help you to get bumpy when you're guarding your mans. And trust me, bumpy is what we want when playing perimeter defense. The main reason why we are gonna be wanting to use the ODS is because it keeps your player square to the offensive guy, allowing you to better keep him in front of you and track him and bump him if he does try to blow by you. While the ODS is goated, definitely gonna slow your player down while you're using it. So if your opponent hits a speed boost or starts to get away from you, that's when you're gonna have to let go of that left trigger and start to close the gap. Be smart about it when closing the gap. The offensive player will see that you're trying to close the gap, and if they're good, they're gonna time a good old escape dribble the other way and be out. So with that in mind, when closing the gap, try to break down or slow down before you get to the opponent. And once the gap is closed, it's time to get right back on that ODS. Moving on to the next tip on the list, and that's gonna be your positioning. If you're here watching this video, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that you're not the best at perimeter defense, which is fine. But if that is the case, then you should definitely not be picking up your man's full court. What you want to do ideally is set up around the three-point line. For me, I find that if my opponent is a poor three-point shooter, then setting up a step or two inside of the three-point line is ideal. However, if your man's is shooting 50 or above from beyond the arc, then you're definitely going to have to set up on the other side of the three-point line to ensure he does not have any airspace for a cheap, quick pass, catch and shoot. Moving on, if your goal is to improve upon your perimeter defense and no longer be a liability to your team, then one thing that you are going to have to want to do is forget that the steal button even exists on defense. After the nerf to steals or buff to unpluckable, whatever, on-ball steals are hard to come by. Don't get me wrong, you can definitely get a steal in this game, but button mashing is not the wave, especially with the adrenaline system this year. Button mashing is just gonna put you out of position and give your opponent a chance to blow by you, or you're gonna get a foul called on you. Both results we don't want to see, and it's for that reason that I say don't even bother going for the steal. In my opinion, it's way more demoralizing to lock your mans up for 24 seconds straight and show them that you're straight imposing your will on them. Ain't no luck involved in this D. But I digress. Also, while I got you here, let me say this. Stop mashing that block button as well. It's just like the steals. Mashing blocks will put you out of position and turn a decent defensive possession into easy points just like that. Instead, you're going to want to use the right stick to contest. Using the right stick to contest will not get you the highlight block, of course, but it also won't leave you as vulnerable and out of position defensively if you guess wrong and go for a crazy block attempt. And yo, if this is your first time here, the channel is dedicated to NBA 2K and helping the community to improving on not only their stick skills, but also their IQ at the game, all while trying to have a good time of doing so. So make sure and sub up if you're trying to get better at 2K, I got you. And definitely stay tuned till the end, as I'm about to go over 3 of my top tips to help you improve your perimeter defense. Moving on to the next tip on this list, and that's gonna be to use the sidelines and your teammates to your advantage. As far as perimeter defense goes in this game, we as defenders, are at a grave disadvantage. The devs have made it to where it's so easy for the offensive guy to cook up and get buckets. And because of this, we as defenders have to use every tool at our disposal in order to neutralize the offensive players. Two key tools being the sideline and our teammates. First, the sidelines. When defending your player, you're gonna wanna try and use the sideline as an extra defender in order to corral your opponent and keep him contained, essentially trapping him between you and the sideline, if that makes any type of sense. And then the same thing when it comes to your teammates. Try and force the offensive player towards the help guy. And when you're guarding the ball, look up and see the court. If the right side of the court is wide open because no one is on that side, I don't care how much dribbling your opponent is doing, he's definitely trying to get to that right side. See that and shade more to that side, that's all. Because that's more than likely where he's trying to get to. Remember, we gotta get into the head of the offensive guy. Ask yourself, if it was me, which way would I go? And then just try to force him the other way. But at least make it hard as hell for them to get there. And if they're a demon, they're gonna make the shot. It is what it is. But most randoms are trash and they're gonna turn it over. Moving on to the next tip, and that's gonna be to use that right stick contest. When it comes to playing defense, we are all going to at some point or the other get got by our mans. Either he's gonna catch you with a nice move or off ball, he might catch you sleeping and he's gonna be open for a shot. Most people's first instinct is to jump out of desperation at their opponent in hopes of getting a decent contest. But trust me, this right here is not the wave. Most of the time, your opponent's just trying to bait you into jumping so they can drive past you anyway. Not a lot of people like to shoot in this game. They'd much rather just rim run. What you're gonna wanna do is use that right stick for any and all type of perimeter contests. Paint contests as well while I'm at it, in my opinion. But that's a separate video. Me personally, I'm playing with the right stick up a majority of the time when I'm playing on ball. This way, if my opponent does decide to shoot, my player's gonna auto go into a hands up contest, and that's one thing less I have to worry about on defense. And now I can just focus on tracking him and boxing him up. Now don't get me wrong, definitely can't run around all 24 seconds with your hands up. If your man gets away from you, like we said earlier, you're gonna have to work on maneuvering yourself in order to close the gap. But no sooner you're back within range, get them hands up, bruh. We wanna be playing suffocating defense out here. And then I had to drop a bonus for you, and that's gonna be to accept the challenge. Like anything in life, if you wanna get better at playing perimeter defense in NBA 2K, you're gonna first have to accept the challenge of wanting to get better. You're gonna have to go through them dog days of getting dropped off something crazy, 40 points in your head. It's par for the course, my brother. Don't get yourself discouraged, because just like in life, put in enough time at trying to get better at something, you're gonna get better. And if you made it this far into the video, I just wanted to say you're the real MVP. I appreciate y'all. Y'all been going crazy in the comment section, and I genuinely hope from the bottom of my heart that you have a great day today. Till the next time we speak, luck out. Peace.